can get very problematic and you have a lot of downtime. And downtime means people go elsewhere.
Welcome to Top Rated Gym, the ultimate podcast for gym owners ready to take their business to the next level. Each episode is packed with actionable advice to help you increase revenue, boost retention, and scale your business to new heights. Whether you're just starting out or looking to expand your locations, Top Rated Gym is your trusted resource for growth and success. Let's build stronger, thriving gyms, one episode at a time.
Hello everyone, and welcome back again. Today we'll talk about how to stop making expensive mistakes when investing in wellness and recovery technology. I'm your host, Andres Virovic. Welcome to today's episode of Top Rated Gym Podcast, where we are looking closely at new ways to make money and keep members using fitness and health technology. Our guest today has been a leader in this area for over 15 years, starting as a gym owner and a wellness center owner who because of bad equipment, had to start building his own. He is here to share his tough lessons, the expensive mistakes, and the key question every gym owner or franchise leader should ask before buying any recovery and health machines. Join me in welcoming Robin Kuhne, the founder of Neoscience, who was a major force in bringing cryotherapy to US and now works to give businesses like yours high quality, fully supportive wellness machines. Robin, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Andres. I appreciate the intro. I'm going to copy that one day. This was great.
No, last time we spoke, man, we could carry conversation forever. You are totally right. There's so many great sales pitches. Mm-hmm. People buy into that. But at the end, they find all the problems. Nobody wants to talk about it, right? What were some of the worst equipment problems you faced as an owner that pushed you to start making your own machines?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always joke about half of my gray hair on my beard is actually from equipment problems we had back in the day. So we had started in '08 a business called Cryo Healthcare, and it was supposed to be, what you now see very frequently, like kind of a med spa wellness center, where we had a lot of athletes come in and we worked with all the local gyms to get members in to do the recovery for them, right? That was the goal. Cryotherapy didn't exist in the US, so we dragged a machine over, the first one kind of from Eastern Europe, actually Ukraine manufactured, and then later moved towards Poland. And the issue we had was, first of all, that was the only source you could use, right? So we had no choice. The problem was time difference, language difference. We had no plans on how these things work. We had no blueprints, no manuals, no nothing, and so it was very challenging because these machines had problems that, of course, we didn't know about when we bought them. And, oftentimes we were unable to reach people for days. And so we had to take out our IKEA toolbox and start opening these machines up and trying to figure out what to do, and that was, I think, the lesson we learned very quickly is when you don't have somebody locally, and unless you are Mr. MacGyver yourself, it can get very problematic and you have a lot of downtime. And downtime means people go elsewhere, and luckily for us, there was nowhere else to go. So I think our blessing was there was no competition, right? Fast forward now, 15 years. Obviously, these technologies are becoming more, widespread. And now you really have to make sure you have something that works and that also is reliable.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot. The world is open. The world is marketplace. Everybody has access to every website, right? And on description, everything looks awesome.
Oh, yeah.
But people don't understand that no matter what, every machine have its own life cycle. It has its own longevity. Needs maintenance, needs spare parts, needs to be replaced. Yeah. If you have a vendor who is somewhere else, I'm not talking maybe bad vendor, maybe it's good. But if you don't have access to these supporting elements, they're critical. Yeah. Your business is down. Your clients are facing interruptions. They're losing habits of using your machines. Retention is affected. You cannot afford downtime.
Correct.
Nobody can. It's not
Correct.
about having machine. It's like you invested so much of teaching them how to use it, and now it's failing. And it's not like
Mhm.
bench press. There's another one waiting. Nobody has two
Mhm.
cryo machines to have a warm reserve in your business.
Not yet. No, that's very true.
So that's what I'm
I-
talking
I'll,
about.
I'll get to that later, how we tackle that. But yeah, I mean, again, if you're looking into to take this thought of further, back then we had no choice, right? But now you have choices. You can do your homework, and everybody can make beautiful marketing brochures. I'm sometimes amazed because now you can even create beautiful marketing materials and make yourself look like a massive corporation within 5 minutes with AI, right? And you can look legitimate. You have a great website. You have all these things. But as customers, when they're searching for stuff, I always say go to the basics. Meet the person, find out, do they have a place where you can go and see the machines? If there's no physical office, if there's no showroom, if there's nothing, I would be very skeptical that they can support you after you purchase these machines. Because if they don't even have a room to show them, do you think they have a place to store parts and have technicians possibly? So they're very simple things you can do to research, and I mean, just doing the basic due diligence.
So let's talk about why people would even consider adding these machines before they even go to shopping.
Yeah.
Why? Because here's my perspective. I already have a gym. I know trend is let's add modalities, but my thought process is, oh my God, if I just add red light therapy, I have to hire another person. Hiring another person is another complexity. How can people leverage this? What's your best advice for somebody? First, should they add technology? Second, how do they add it so it's not a headache? It's a benefit.
100%. Simplicity. That's the real sophistication here that I always try to preach to people. Find devices that don't need an operator, right? We call this touchless services, touchless devices. You want to look at modalities for your gym where, you can ideally place it in a room and you can show somebody maybe one time how to use it. So it needs to have a very simple interface, almost like a self-service type kiosk. I don't want to use the word kiosk because that, but you know what I mean, right? It has to be very, very simple. Because you're right. If I buy this modality and I have a payment every month of, let's say, $1,000 or $1,500 or whatever it is, that's already something I have to cope with. Now, if I had an employee on top of that, that adds even twice the price of the actual equipment, maybe 3 times, right? So you want to make sure that it's something that can be operated without an operator. And in our recovery and gym space, that works very well because, we're not looking at, certain aesthetic or medical procedures. We're looking at a device that helps you to have a more holistic approach in your gym where somebody does the exercise part and then also does the recovery under one roof, right? We're looking at simple things, contrast, cold therapy, light therapy. All these things can be done without being complicated.
I love that, because a lot of people are overwhelmed today. In the world of business, so many things to do, and especially one of the biggest challenges are employees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hiring, keeping, training, and then losing them. So if there is like a cryotherapy, I assume it's a seamless. You go in, you boom, it's quick, 3 minutes, you're out. Red light therapy, absolutely safe. Boom, go and use it. I'm a big fan of both services, but let's talk about benefits for the owner. Right. Complexity is gone. Yes, simplicity is there. But how do you see this as a value for business? Is this business most beneficial in retention, or is it competitive advantage? Is it added revenue? Is it lead generation? What is the biggest advantage of adding, let's say, cryotherapy and red light therapy?
That's actually very tricky because all of the above you mentioned, actually, they all apply, right? If you set yourself apart with technologies that nobody has, right, that right there is a magnet, right, for new people to come in the door and get curious. You also offer people convenience to have it all under one roof because most people face it. If you have people a certain age, my age group is the perfect example, right? Like I'm in my mid 40s right now, right? I go to the gym. I'm aware of the importance of exercise and health, but also don't have a ton of time. Right. So having this in one place where I could go to exercise and then I do my recovery, which I would do somewhere else otherwise. Right. It's very convenient. And I think that's, that is definitely a major driver for people to come in. And then, of course, retention too, because like I said, people will go elsewhere. The more popular it gets to do these services, and I think it's unstoppable at this point. You see the trends of the Global Wellness Institute. If you Google that, the trend of the wellness industry, it is, enormous, right? When you look at the projection and the overall shift. And now everybody these days knowing who Gary Brecka is and who all these biohackers are, right? Even like, my aunt who is in her, 70s, she knows about the Joe Rogan podcast, right? So I think the public is getting more educated. People are looking for these services, and for gym owners in particular, to have a health club, not just a gym, but you're turning into a health club, a health and wellness. I think that's where the trend is going. And again, I think that's really what will drive revenue that way. What I mentioned earlier is, as you mentioned these therapies, cryo and red light in particular. A lot of people started with cold plunges because it's easy to break into cold plunges, right? And we can talk about this separately, but a cold plunge is inexpensive to get, but now you need showers, you need towels, it's a wet service, right? It's not touchless all of a sudden. Touchless for the user, but you have a lot of cleaning up to do after, disinfection, maintenance.
Yes.
So, right, the simplicity, hygiene. Yeah. So,
water, like,
and some cities are really cracking down, treating it like a public pool all of a sudden, and so the regulations have shot up. So doing something the cryo is truly touchless. A person walks into technically a walk-in freezer, stays in there for a few minutes, gets freezing cold. The body reacts to the cold. And again, those benefits you can read about online, and you come back out, right? And you feel great. It was quick and easy, and the business owner doesn't have to clean up your mess. It's kind of convenient,
And it's what I love about, first of all, my experience with both technologies. Red light,
yeah.
I wear a Whoop last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And like a year and a half ago, I went to a red light therapy bed. And next morning, my Whoop was 15, my HRV was 15 to 20 points up.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing different the day before, only red light. I was like, how is this possible? My recovery was so much, I was in green.
Mm-hmm.
I decided, boom, I got to buy a bed. I have my bed now, and I'm using it daily. It's absolutely remarkable.
Yeah.
But cryo, when I go and do cryo, I don't have cryo at home, obviously. But when I do cryo in my med spa, just because my gym doesn't have it, it's the quickest energy picker-upper that exists. 100%. You go in, you go out, you are like a lion. You're roaring. It's every cell is energized, electrified. And if you want to have a sales pitch after that about membership, if this is a lead generation, it's a game changer.
That's what we used to do. It's funny you say this. So in my retail stores, we had people come in, and I always told the front desk, do not try to sell people on this service without them having experienced this. Tell them that there's packages, that there's memberships, there's different options. Don't charge them. Have them go in first. And when they come out of this machine and you see their endorphin rush and you see the excitement and this, like, that's the moment when you say, hey, would you like to do this again? There's ways to make this cheaper, right? And again, you're offering something for their benefit. It's not like you're tricking them, but they need to have the experience to fully understand what it's really like. 100%, I'm with you. In fact, I even had a policy that I would tell people, my staff, if the client comes out, the first time we would put them in not so long, just to see, how does Andre deal with cold, right? If you would come out of the machine without giving me this wow response, I would always say the same thing. Have a seat, warm up. We wanted to just make sure that you tolerate the cold. We're going to put you in one more time, complimentary. Our retention rate shot up over 85%, repeat business, just by doing this little hack that I needed the person to have that wow effect. And sometimes it takes a bit more for a person. Some people are used to ice baths, they have a higher tolerance. But trust me, in a cryo chamber, you can get it. You just may have to increase the time a little bit. And you need that wow effect so people then link that to their recovery success.
So, you see, every gym owner spends $15 to $25 to generate lead on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And those leads don't show up. Maybe 10% of them, if they are good one in follow-up, converts to members. Now, adding on top of that, bonus of cryo, or just going with cryo. Remind me, how much it takes to run one cryo session that's 5 minutes long?
You're talking about the actual hard cost of running a cryo session?
Hard cost, like whatever cost is.
That's the That's the beauty. Okay, so let me give you a little preface. When we used to deal with liquid nitrogen cryochambers, remember those things where your head sticks out the top? Those are the original ones.
Yes.
Every time you push a button for one person, you would spend about at least $5 to $10 per person in gas. And these gas tanks have to be refilled. And a big gas tank the size of my own body lasts you maybe a day if you're lucky, right? So this is a lot of stuff and cost. Fast forward to today, our latest machine, and I can only give you the data that I have, obviously, from our own stuff. I would say it's the most affordable. It's $150 for unlimited monthly use. I don't care if you have one person going per day or 30, 40 people in a day. It's a fixed cost. So if let's say, I can't even do the math right now, but you get the idea. It's pennies. So if
$5 a day, you run 30 people in a day. That's
exactly.
pennies.
So it's pennies, and that's the idea, and that's when it gets interesting because all these services work better when you do them regularly. So I don't want costs to be prohibitive of the benefit. And it's so easy to tag this onto a membership now, right? If I have a gym membership, my gym membership is $50 a month, let's say, right? I could say, hey, Andre, for another as low as $20 if I wanted to, I could offer you the service. Obviously, I would charge more than $20, but even at $20, you're not going to lose money. So it's a very, very easy way to create a unlimited cryotherapy membership. And again, I see people, you charge $100, $150 a month for a cryo membership. I'm just giving an example. Like your cost is so low that, it's negligible.
It's negligible. It's no brainer. First of all, its effects are immediate. You don't wait up days or months or you sleep to measure it on your Whoop. It's immediately. You feel it, right? Second, it doesn't take 15 or 20 minutes like red light. It takes 3 minutes to 4 minutes because it's quick and rapid. Third one, it's cool. People talk about it, right?
And it's Instagrammable, Andre. It's Instagrammable.
I gotta tell you the story about Instagrammable. A friend of mine is opening med spa. I go there. He showed me the cryo. I'm in it. So it's totally empty spa. It's not even open yet. So I'm by myself. I'm walking out and I am unleashing. I open the door and I start roaring like, oh, this is good, right? I'm in my underwear. And 2 months later, people in my gym told me like, oh, we saw your commercial. It was cool. Like, what commercial? I never recorded a commercial. Like, not me. I was like, guy looks like just like you. Like, no, buddy, I never recorded a commercial. 5 people in the gym stopping me, telling me it's my commercial. Like, no, I came home, I'm walking the streets and walking my dogs. My neighbors are telling me like, oh, we saw you on Instagram. That was cool. And I'm like questioning what's going on. I totally forgot that they recorded me roaring out, like unleashing. Yeah. Then my wife gets the video. How did you do? I was like, that is awesome. I mean, it become literally people see. And I was myself. I did not act. I was like, this is what I need on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why if your gym owners do it now, I have a really critical question. People know this is not cheap equipment, right?
Yeah.
But question is, if I get a machine and I maintain it based on manufacturer specifications and I take care of it, how long it can last machine? I'm not asking about warranty, but how long is a lifetime?
So we get this question a lot. So technically the actual chamber, the cryo chamber itself is made out of stainless metal and a foam core. So it's going to last you forever. I can't say forever, but we usually say typical expectation of equipment like this is 10 years, right? We have warranties on the equipment. We have statistics of how long these components last. And again, depending on what machine you're looking into, the maintenance can also be very simple or very complicated. It depends on the manufacturer. But I would say 10 years is realistic as a life expectancy. We have installed machines when we started in 2008. And LA Clippers, for example, have one of our machines. It's still being serviced by us today. So now 2008, what's today now? So you get
like
the idea.
15 years later, 17 years later.
15 years later, 17 years later, the machine is still in service. Obviously, if you're in a high...
The part is a door, right?
Yeah. The door is a moving part, and then you have these refrigeration engines, right? And and that's where it gets different in terms of like how refrigeration works. and just say the nutshell is we did it in a way where our whole engine is like this little thing that you can replace and put back in within 2 hours. So our entire engine is a compact design. Usually you have to do much more with refrigerants and oil fillings and so forth. So yeah, so you have basically a box, and then you have something that gets it cold, an engine that makes it cold. And that's all the components of a cryo chamber. And then actually not true. Some systems have something on the roof on the outside, like an air conditioning unit looking thing, where that it needs to function properly. We don't have any of that.
Well, but going back to 10 years
10
of
years.
lifespan, right? No matter what it costs, you break it down on a value over 10 years. It's almost nothing on a daily basis when you compare the value that you provide and the conversion increase you're in.
Yeah.
Right? And I want to say it's not fear of missing out, but if you don't do it, somebody else will. Right?
Yeah.
There's a huge movement that everybody's going into longevity, energy, health, movement into wellness. People are putting whole wellness pods, not just machines, inside of it, inside the gyms. It's emergent. It's a technology trend that's coming up. Biohacking is becoming daily thing.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not even a choice anymore. I think people are still early adopters in certain areas. But the math is simple. Like, promote it properly, use it as a lead generation, use it as a retention, use it as a conversion, right? And that's how you get and keep the clients. Plus revenue aspect of it. Like, your membership can have a higher tier when you include these machines, right?
100%. You know what's nice about when you have an existing gym, and I think gym owners who are in business have a huge advantage over somebody who's starting a new business. You have clients, you have a database. You know, I recommend this all the time. I said, don't just buy a machine, invest in something that you think might work. You know, choose maybe 2 technologies you're interested in. And if you're not sure which one you want to start with, do a survey. Ask your clients, I'm thinking to invest significantly into our gym. Would you be interested in cryotherapy? Here's a picture what it would look like, or red light therapy. Here's a picture what it looks like, and ask people for their opinion. And the nice thing about this, everybody who says they would love cryotherapy, then guess what? Now you can offer them a founder's package to lock in a rate before you even have the machine. And so I had several of my clients have been able to sell memberships to a new service before they even placed an order with me. They gauged interest, their community spoke. You know, sometimes they think we need red light. Turns out they needed cryo, or vice versa, right? Because you don't know. You know what Andre would like to see, right? But you have no idea what your members would like to see. So ask them. Take advantage of having the communication, and then buy the service they want and lock them in before you buy it. You know, that's kind of what I've seen is really successful. So you're not guessing.
And before you even do it, if you're not sure, if you are listening to this and you never tried cryotherapy, first thing is to do is go and experience it.
Correct.
Don't read about it. Don't research about it. Don't watch your YouTube videos. Don't listen to me. Go and try it out and see what it feels like.
Correct.
Because honestly, after I experienced it, like, oh damn, I have a cold plunge, right? My own, because it's just one person using it, nobody else.
Yeah.
I love this effect of the cold therapy, but that's the way to go. Now, space-wise, what is the space required for both? Let's say red light and cryotherapy in a gym. Like, can boutique gym do it, or is it big box gyms? Where do they place it usually?
Very good question. So in a 10 by 12 room, I can fit either cryo or red light, right? So for each, a 10 by 12 room is kind of what I recommend as a minimum footprint. Having said that, in a gym, especially in a boutique gym, it's actually very cool. And we purposely designed our cryo chamber to look good as a piece of almost furniture. So you can place it in the middle of the open space. A lot of cryo chambers there look like walk-in meat lockers, so usually people put drywall around them and hide them, right? We purposely we wanted our machine to be aesthetically pleasing inside and out, and you'll see this. We have wood interior and all kinds of things. So you can place it in the open space in a gym. And the question, whenever I say this, people ask me, hold on, Robin, in your underwear in there, what do you do? Well, I have a glass door that I can frost. I can frost it. I can put the gym owner's logo on there. So all I want to see is the person's face. I don't need to see their body. So they can walk in, take off a towel or robe or whatever they're wearing, do the cryo session and come back up, and you can be in an open space. So now you didn't waste the room for it, and it's easy accessible, and people see others using it. So again, it drives interest. They see Andre roaring coming out of the cryo chamber, they're going to be like, "Whoa, what the hell is this? I want to try that."
Quick question. That came to my mind. Do they need a medical license later on?
Great question. Staff? You do not. No. So cryotherapy was deemed as a non-medical device in the U.S. It's called like a 513 exemption.
I gotta say, this is incredible because you know that a lot. If you want to do IV in it, it's a headache to add IV.
Correct.
It's a nightmare. It's inspection.
You need medical director. You need,
my God,
and then
name
this
it.
sterile environments. Yeah, you're right.
Oof. The fact that this is not a medical device, you don't need to change licenses and obtain medical. It's a game changer.
No, for sure. And so is red light therapy. You're not supposed to make medical claims, but again, obviously in a gym, you're not diagnosing anybody. You're just saying this is great for your skin, your overall muscle recovery, produces ATP. Like, you can give the things it does, and there's plenty of information on the internet, but you don't want to say you're curing something. Obviously, this is always the case. But we work with big franchises that use the equipment. So trust me, franchises in the US, they do their due diligence. They're not going to take chances. We have 5 franchises under contract for my company. So we can tell you for sure that there's no regulation that will prohibit you using it when you're not medical.
So guys, if you're listening to this, put a comment in a question. What is your biggest objections of buying cryotherapy? Okay, maybe it's a price, but if you amortize that over 10 years and properly marketed, it's paying itself off. You sell it to a membership that exists, that's already served in and willing to pay prior to machine arriving. Like, that's a no-brainer. But what is the challenge? What do you guys, I'm really curious. Why would not everybody have now cryo in their gym?
I think
really want to know that from the audience.
If I may give you my 2 cents from what I hear a lot, is of course cost of equipment, right? And then of course it's complexity of the installation. Is my landlord going to allow me to do this? How do we use a crane and do all these things, right? Can we put something on the roof? But again, there's new systems now, again, ours being one of them. There's others that are plug and play that you can put in your office, right? So that eliminates the complexity. Prices have come down tremendously. It used to be that cryo chambers are $150,000. Now you can get them under 100 for a good system. And the way I always like to paint this picture is, again, gym owners understand memberships and pricing. To finance a cryo chamber with no down payment, you're looking at about under $2,000. So now you factor under $150 in electric cost I gave you earlier. So let's say it costs you $2,000 a month. If you charge $99 for unlimited cryo use, you're offering people an amazing price that will undermine most businesses and mom and pop shops in the neighborhood. You need 20 people, 20 of your members to join a cryo membership for $99 to pay for your machine. If you can't do that, then absolutely you shouldn't get a cryo chamber. But again, I think it is, for any gym that has a couple hundred members, it's very easy to find 20 people.
Off. After that, it's free.
Then it's free, of course, exactly. And every additional member is pure profit because the machine has no incremental consumable cost, right? Whether I see my 20 people using the membership or I see 40, 60, 80, 100 people, it doesn't matter. The machine has the same fixed cost every single day because it's like a walk-in freezer. It's always on, it takes electricity, and it's a fixed price.
Wow. So if you divide that 100,000 over 10 years, it's $28 a day.
Yeah.
Guys, would you be willing to invest $28? By the way, I'm not affiliated here. I'm not selling Robin's product.
No, we haven't even mentioned my product anyway. Yeah.
I'm just pure believer in what technology does. I want to get that out. I bring products I'm a customer of and I'm a big fan of. So that's why I'm talking about. But $30 a day to increase conversion, to increase number of leads, for leads that you already paid, for increasing cool factor of being a talk of the town, to increasing retention, competitive advantage. I think it's a no-brainer, quite frankly. It's a percent of your revenue of your employee.
Yeah.
Who does not pump up your members as high as this machine will, no doubt.
Correct.
So let's talk about training. I got machine. Boom. I put it on. You guys install it. But Robin, let's face it, my employees don't stick. I change employees every 6 months. So what is the support? What is the process of educating people? My nightmare is somebody has to explain it. How easy it is to train a new person. How long it takes.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
guys have any support there?
my favorite question. So first of all, the equipment is so easy, and I can't speak for other manufacturers, obviously, but our devices are all designed. So if I were to install this machine, Andre, and never see you again after and disappear and run away to Mexico and have a good life, you would be fine. You know, it's very, very simple. Actually, in fact, the cryo chamber is programmed automatically. If you simply open the door, it'll start a program, and you see the lights changing from a green to a blue, and then they change back to a green, which means you're done, right? So the machine does the work. You walk in and you walk out when it tells you to walk out. That's all you need to do. Now, training is something that's very important to me because I own my own retail store. And I noticed early on, you know who the most important person in my office was? It wasn't the doctor. It wasn't myself. It was our lowest paid person at the front desk, because she would explain to people why they should join, what services we offer, and what they do for them. And if my lowest paid employee just says, oh, we have red light, it's great for your skin, you should try it sometime, that would not be great, right? Because there's a whole laundry list of things that it's great for. And so making sure your staff stays on top of this is critical, in my opinion, right? That'll make or break the service's success. We have educators in the company that do training with every machine that we sell. There's a dedicated training, and you actually deal with a person that trains you and your staff. Now, obviously, you know, you can't book when you have your staff change every other month. You know, we can't nonstop do trainings with the same person. So we as a company have an online university platform where you can take a class for each device. You watch some videos, there's some interactive stuff, and then you have to take a quick test. It'll take you maybe an hour or so, and then the person gets a certificate if they're passed. And if they don't, they have to do it again. And this ensures that your team members know how to use the equipment. Again, having said the operational part of the equipment, my 5-year-old son can operate the machine, right? There's 4 buttons to push on a machine, usually. That's it. You choose a mode and press start. And for the cryo, you just walk in. But the educational component of why you should do this, how you combine this with your training, whether it's exercise, whether it's another modality, should you do it before or after exercise, all these things we teach and we explain to the staff. And there's an online platform so people can just have access to this. So that way, you know, you can ensure that anybody you hire, you don't have to sit down and try to train them, because things get lost, right? The silent post effect, right? By the time the 5th person explains it to the next person, the information is lost. So you have access to a platform.
And it's easily, I mean, I love that. Listen, that's the biggest one of the challenges of onboarding, training, operational efficiency, all 9 yards. Like, you know, it's today, unless it's simple, complexity is the biggest enemy of execution. If it's not understandable for 4th grader, it's going to be hard to use, right? And even red light therapy, I love, you know, like Becca and Joe Rogan show when he explains scientifically what happens on a crop cycle in the cellular level, and NAD is pumped up and ATP's production of, like, people don't need to understand detail on a molecular level to understand red light therapy. It's just incredible recovery tool, period. Mm-hmm. I do it every day around 1 o'clock after my lunch break for 30 minutes. Boom, my days are 4 hours longer. I keep pushing it. It's almost like getting 4 hours of sleep in 20 minutes. I go run for 13 miles. I come back, my legs are fried. I do 3 minutes of cold. I'm like a brand new. Yeah. It's incredible. I can run again. That's what's benefit about. And people feel it.
You know, so, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I love it. I'm just thinking, like, why would not everybody? Why my gym is not having cryotherapy now? Right?
I think it takes time. That's all it is. Yeah.
Decision. The people lack of decision. First decision you need to do is go, damn, and experience red light. You go and experience cryo. Then let's ask me, how do they come back and reach out to Robin? And call Robin. This is Robin. Bring one to me.
And I think,
Robin, tell us about you. Like, what can people do to reach out to you, to your team, to your, like, how's your process of empowering people to get their machines works?
I mean, that's simple. Obviously, for us, most people find us on Instagram on our website. Our Instagram is usually one thing that people like to look at because you can actually see the machines, see where they are. We post a lot of our customers' content, right? So people see that. So you can easily find us there. Neoscience.com, neo_science on Instagram. I can send you all that obviously to put in the comments. So that's how you can get in touch with us.
But I want to also say that it's not only, maybe we just talked about cryo. Maybe we just talk about red light. But I see you have a lot of cool gadgets, man.
There's
5,000. That's really another stamp of certificate of prosperity. But just a quick highlight. What else do you guys offer so they don't have to shop with the 5 vendors, talk to 5 people?
Yeah, I can give it. So what you see in this photo here in the front left, the gray submarine looking thing, that's a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. We make them in shapes for 2 people, 4 people, 1 person, different shapes, different sizes. There's very cool gyms that we showcased in Toronto. We just opened a place called Supernatural. They have a fitness component connected to with a 4-person hyperbaric. So because social wellness becomes big, where people go to the gym together, and then it's nice to do the recovery together, right? So that's one thing. That you see that tanning bed looking thing, that's the red light bed. It's not a tanning bed. It's a photobiomodulation bed. Behind that little thing that looks like a vacuum cleaner, that is actually a localized cryotherapy device. Some people do self-service with that to cool an area. It's kind of like an ice pack that's dry. In the center, obviously, our cryo chamber, unmistakably. To the right of that, you see a table-looking thing, like a massage table. That is actually, there's 2 versions of this. It's a dry float device where you're floating on water without getting wet. It's out of Italy by a company named Stapo. We don't make this, but we're the North America distributor for it. Phenomenal technology. Really reduces stress, relaxes you. All the pro teams right now buy these. We have a long list of them. I'm not allowed to mention them, but I would say arguably half of the NFL, NBA have these. And then they make a cold version of this. So if you want to do a cold plunge, but you don't want to deal with showers and people getting wet, imagine being submerged in cold water. But again, there's a membrane protecting you from the water. So you get freezing cold as if you're in water, but there's a membrane in between. So it's a very cool sensation. Ooh. It's a dry cold plunge. They're not cheap, out of Italy, but they're very cool. And the front of that, the little machine with the mat attached to it is a PEMF system, pulsating electromagnetic field therapy, also ATP production, helps you with circulation recovery, very good for healing, sleep. Yeah, and then the suit in the front is a lymphatic drainage massage suit to get rid of toxins of your body or do sports massage. I always joke about it's like your professional massage therapist who doesn't have a 1099. Again, touchless services, right? This machine is in a room, you push a button, the person's there for an hour, charge about $100 for it, and people get a professional massage without a person being present. That's kind of the quick rundown of these.
Nice. I love it. Listen, this is incredible, and I'm so glad that you're coming here because as somebody who is a trusted provider for equipment, right? I want my audience to know the choices, right? And the best way, guys, is there's a website called neoscience.com. Mm-hmm. Go check it out. There's a phone number, 424-552-1612 on the website. Give them a call, right? Take a look at what they do. And if they do it, come back to podcast episode and tell us about it, right? Put the comments. And Robin, I appreciate you coming up on the podcast and sharing wisdom, why people should do it, what's the leverage, what's the benefits, how they can take advantage of technology. It's right here, right now, still in the early adopter stage. Time is now, not 3 months from now, not 3 years from now, not 13 years from now. Thank you for coming here and being an incredible guest on Top Rated Gym.
Thanks for having me, Andre. I love what you do for the community. Like, you actually truly care, and it shows. And so, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. And you guys know what to do. Click, share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. If you are a gym owner looking to become a top-rated gym in your area, visit topratedgym.com and grab our free 30-day reputation boost. That's topratedgym.com. I'll add it to the show notes for you. Don't forget to share this with your friends. Stay strong, stay motivated, and keep pushing your gym to the top. Until next time, this is Andre signing off.